who's the best fan base you've interacted with, and then by contrast, who's the worst?
So I thought about the best, and my answer, I think all three of you are not going to like this team. Uh, so I've been to Athens, I've been to Knoxville, I've not yet made it out to Tuscaloosa, but my trips to Georgia and Tennessee were perfectly fine. We had a great time and nice fans and all that. But the nicest people were Auburn. And maybe that's
I can
because we're
see,
not Bama or Georgia fans because they
I
hate
can
you
see that.
guys. We,
They got nothing
I
against
remember,
us.
yeah, I remember being in the like in the stadium as the game starts, and every highlight is a game against Georgia or a game against Alabama, and I'm like, yeah, they're probably excited like to play us, but man, like
All they have is the kick six and Cam Newton.
that's
That's it.
Oh, come on, Jesse. Let them
We're
have that.
over it.
Let them enjoy themselves.
No.
I
Let
went to
them
Auburn
be a
one
teaching
time for a
point.
game, and they were nice. They were nice during the before the game, during the game. A couple of drunk people yelled at me after the game, but they were drunk. Whatever. I'm not going to
yeah,
complain about Auburn fans too
They're
much.
fine. Their fans are fine. Honestly, for the most part, they're fine. I don't actually
yeah,
have like a huge issue with them when they come to campus or when we go to campus. It's one of those things where we've done it a million times.
Yeah,
It's fine. And it really is kind of like a brother situation where we we're gonna jaw at each other. But at the end of the day, if we can keep a championship within the state of Alabama, we're gonna brag about it.
right.
And when something happens within our state, I do think our programs really come together. And I think we've shown that on several occasions when we've had necessity to come together as a state due to natural disaster or whatever it may be. So I, yes, we go at each other for sure. We're all so sick of seeing that stupid kick six. Um, but I think we also recognize as fan bases that we bring the best play out of each other because no matter
That's true.
who's bad,
that
who's
that's
really
that's for
good,
sure.
that game, Iron Bowl's insane. Like it
Hmm.
doesn't matter. Auburn could win or could lose every game this season, and they still will probably, give us a run for our money, even if we were undefeated. So I'll give them that. I'm not going to hate on them too much. They're not my least favorite fans. I'll say that.
All right, Will, who's the
Sweet.
worst?
Yeah, so do you want worst SEC or worst overall?
Just in general.
Okay. Because I so
But
so
also,
I
I kind of want both
Will's gonna
answers.
come out of the
Yeah.
woodwork and say
I
like
want both.
SMU or something.
Hold on. If they're different answers, I want
I
both.
yeah, I
the
think
the
our
the
Vandy
the
fan went with
answer
like Virginia Tech or something. So
that's
whatever.
funny.
Yeah, that's a good
It's
point.
going to be like Harvard. It's
The
fine.
the answer yeah also arrogant. But no, so I've like since I've been graduated, I've been lucky enough to go to a few different places. Athens, Knoxville. I've been to Clemson. I've been to Auburn. Um, interact with Arkansas fans at Jerry World every year. Um, my least favorite SEC is probably Ole Miss. I went there a couple times when I was in college, and you know, I especially one year I probably acted a fool at the game. But I remember like some of the comments made like in a game we won, by the way. Like some of the comments were like, "Oh, like y'all couldn't get into Texas," and like all this kind of other kind of stuff, and like Ole Miss is not a academic institution at all. So
God.
You're the second person to say that, I think, in a row.
um,
Yeah, I love
Yes.
it. I love it how when we have people on, Ole Miss catches strays
We
left
had
and
an
right.
LSU
Like
fan on
it's
last week. He said the same
Whew,
thing.
yeah.
literally.
And obviously, like every fan base, especially on the hellscape that is Twitter, is going to have a couple of bad apples. But
Oh yeah.
uh, and the worst overall, it's probably going to surprise folks. But and this is this is before they have the coach that they have now. But it's Colorado. In
Really?
2021, so we had a home and home with them. When it was supposed to be here, it was canceled due to COVID. And then the next year, to compromise, we played them at the Broncos Stadium in Denver.
Mm.
And I was like, this is going to be great. Going to be great weather. You'll get out of the Texas heat in September, which it was still pretty hot up there. Um, but like, yeah, like we were all excited for the trip to Denver. Like, I'm sure these Colorado fans, like, they're not good at football. They're not going to care. Like, they're going to be welcoming and whatnot. Those people talked more trash than you would believe for a team that was 1-11 the year before. And
Oh
like
man.
even after the game, and there was some people that we were with that sat in a different section, and their section was kind of next to the Colorado students, and they're like throwing like half empty beer bottle or like beer cans like into our section, and like they had to, like, and not that they were aiming for kids, but like our friends had their kids with them, and I'm like, there's so much like from that weekend that put a bad taste in my mouth about their fans. I cannot imagine how they act now
Oh gosh.
with their current
Their
situation,
fans
but
on Twitter are a hot mess. I know that, but
Mhm.
yeah,
ooh.
yeah.
Just gonna blame the
So
lack of oxygen in the air.
that's
They
got to
need
be
You
it.
would
it.
but you would think living in a beautiful place like
Right.
Colorado and Boulder, like you would think,
Yeah,
oh, I'm good with everything, man. Everything's lovely, but apparently not.
apparently
Yeah.
not.